We will destroy you.
Crush the humans. Puny human.
Yes. Yes. Well, we're getting a little preview of our Halloween costumes here, guys.
All right.
Drew's got us all hooked up. Okay, why don't you hit us with our real faces there, Drew? For those of you who don't remember us, yeah, combat video.
Yeah,
nice,
exactly,
nice.
exactly.
Nice.
That's our in-game preview for the next beta test.
Yep, exactly. Oh man. So here we are, Justin TV. Good to see everyone made it.
Yep. Thanks for making the switch. Hopefully we'll have a good transmission for you. Yep,
cool. So we got a lot of stuff to cover today and only an hour to do it. Like we said, we've been trying to do these every 2 weeks, so set your calendars. The next one will be on the 28th, right before Halloween, so we had to have some good stuff for that show as well. So most of the time we're trying to get to the part where we can open it up for questions, as most of you know, so you guys can definitely get your questions ready.
Okay.
A lot of you have been asking for videos and things, so we're trying to get a couple of those ready today. We have one that is just some beta footage. Some of you are in beta, may have even see your character on there, but we're going to show some beta footage so you kind of get a feel. For those of you who aren't in beta, you can kind of see the beta footage, actual beta footage. So we'll just start out with that one. Later in the show, we'll show more of a like a trailer type footage as well. But just for a quick update, we've been very busy here at Pitchblack. We've been getting a lot of the stuff done with, as most of you know, with the servers. We found out a lot over the last couple weeks about the patcher and the installer and things that we're pretty much optimizing and fixing. So little by little, we're getting it to where we want it to go. But thanks for all the beta testers who are helping us get there.
Yep.
And so without further ado, let's go ahead and just cut to the beta footage. And I'll try and stay out of it. It has some music, but I may jump in. Sure. This one pretty much has just pretty much a lot of the team. There's probably about 15 to 18 people from the staff in with about the same amount of beta testers. So 30 to 40 people at any given time we were kind of filming. And at that time, we pretty much all got together and ran different places and fought and had a pretty good time. So that's pretty much what we're going to show today. Just some footage from that, and our videographer put some sound to it. So go ahead and hit it.
Go ahead and cue that up.
This is actual beta footage.
One of the things that I'll just narrate just a little bit, we'll show in the coming weeks, want to get you an idea of, in the next combat video, a larger scale, and that's ultimately what we want to have. This will give you an idea of where we're going. Okay, so one of the things that I was saying, and our music was a little bit loud, is that what you'll see in our coming combat videos, and what we wanted to show you at least a hint of in this one, is that we want to have lots of people in the game. We want to have lots of people running around fighting each other. So this is a first glimpse, and what you'll see in the future videos is multiple factions fighting each other with more and more people on screen. So that's what I was talking to, and that's what we really wanted to showcase, the start of where this is just one group of people, and then we'll start adding those groups in so we can get the larger scale combat.
Yeah, and just like some of you might have noticed on there, we'll post this afterwards, just so you know. You'll be able to get it off of our YouTube site, along with all our videos. We'll start posting those more often, and this will be no exception. But you know, this is just, as I think Unfrag saw, that this is just over the last couple of days. It's unedited footage, just of all of us running around and having a good time, kind of take time away from the actual beta to play with the users. And so it's just actual footage that we took over the last 2 days. So I think Shan probably recognized himself in there getting pwned. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, an interesting side note, Andrew was in there trying to take the video, and all the beta testers kept on killing him. So he had to up his stats so that everyone wouldn't kill him, so he could just get the thing. So anyway, yeah, that's he had to cheat to do that. So anyway, good. So we got that going. So moving right along, you guys, we have one more video later in the show. We'll be proud to show you guys. It's a little bit more of a cinematic type thing that we'll probably release soon. Yep. But some of you in the questions were asking about the concept art. Yeah. And I know you guys are very familiar with Ziad, our lead concept artist and art director. And he actually brought a few images to share with you. So before we go any further with anything else, I thought we'd go ahead and have Ziad come on board and talk a little bit about the concepts.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Good afternoon.
Ziad?
All right.
I literally had to pull him away from his chair while he was drawing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yes, no beard. And hello again. All right, so some of the concept art that I thought we'd look at, some of the new stuff. Here's what we're looking at here is kind of an entrance to the Rodon arena area, and how it might look. Over here, this is one that's Capsa, kind of the city scene that's in the caverns, and what you might kind of gather when you're in there. And the next one we'll see here is an entranceway concept of a Salient cloning facility on Anzo, the ice planet for Salient adventures. And then next one here is a human harvester robot concept. So it's pretty different from the Rodon one, but it works the same way, obviously, but just stylized differently. And then here we're moving on to some Rodon, kind of what we call the Tier 0, basically the armored Rodon, where they have some different variations there, some concepts. Bandoliers, as you can see, and such. Here coming up is what we call the Rodon slave ship. And here it is, a scene of it landing at the entranceway to the arena, going for more victims to the Colosseum, I guess, so to speak. And moving along, we've got some interior wall designs for our Salient city, Sundara. And as you can see, there's some variations. We vary them from simplistic to very ornate, or a lot of geometry involved there. This next one is a sketch of the Salient Armory dropship that will have like a big mech that walks out of it and thrashes all the enemies. All right. So that's a little flash of some concepts put together. So, any questions about that? You probably had questions, but I wasn't looking at the chat sheet. I was looking at the preview monitor. So, vehicle concepts. Well, I guess the slave ship is one.
Yeah, you got one ship.
So we got that.
Good. Yeah, we have a few things in a reveal coming up that we'll have to show you guys shortly that are pretty cool as far as the vehicles. But we do have a couple of ships that are for transport that they've been working hard on. So we'll see about that.
Yep.
Good. So anyway, if you have anything else, thanks a lot, Ziad, for sharing a little bit of what you're working on.
That's this week's. So, all right. Cool. Thanks.
Thanks. Good. Well, we'll go ahead and keep going here. I'll get John back into the picture. And obviously, what would our dev chat be without any obnoxious trivia questions, you know? I know some of you were doubting that we'd have that today, but why doubt? You know, we never go without having a few of those things. So the new shipment of shirts is in. If you've won one in the prior, I think we sent out about 20 of them this week. This week, actually. So I think it was the last 2 days. So you'll be getting a shirt if you haven't got one. So we'll go over the rules. We have a couple questions today for you. Let's go ahead and hit it there, Drew.
All
so
right.
The rules.
Pretty standard. Again, you can only win one. Let's go ahead and go to those. Get your info to Sonia. That's key. And again, we've got lots of sizes, so we can make certain that we get those to you. If you won one in the past and you probably haven't gotten it within the next week, then just reach out to Sonia and make certain that we get that information from you. So let's go ahead and go to the first question. That's yours.
All right. So I thought I'd make it easy this week. Name at least 3 of the fruits featured in the original Pac-Man. I'm always getting razzed about the hard questions. Apple, orange. Ouch, yes, unfragged.
Wow.
Man, ow.
Headshot.
Woo. I knew we should have done 4. I knew we should have done 4, man. Sweet. Awesome, very good, very good.
Yeah.
So unfragged, I guess, man. Tore it up. And that's like...
Okay, so mine's going to be obnoxiously hard. If you played the game, there's a good chance you may know it. If not, you may have to Google it. But anyway, let's go to the question,
this one's
Drew.
ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, so in the game Arkanoid, the player controls a space vessel that acts like the game's paddle. What's the vessel called?
And you had to play a lot of Arkanoid to be able to know this.
I did say vessel. I'll say it again. Vessel.
The Wessel. Oh, Benny
there we
Wiggs.
go. Benny Wiggs. Nice.
Newcomer.
The vowels. Very
Newcomer.
good.
Don't recognize the Benny. Good. Well, good job. Got two more shirts to give out. Sweet. So make sure you give your info to Sonia.
Excellent. All right. So with that, did you want to do the video after or video first?
No, we'll do it after. So good. So we're going to go ahead and kick right into our Q&A session.
Okay.
And then we'll try and get that trailer queued up for you as well. So pretty much it's open for grabs, anything you guys want to talk about, but we always start out with some of the things that are posted on the forum. So we have quite a few quick answers today to give for some of these questions. Not that many really, but we'll go ahead and start, John.
Yeah. Start with the professions. So we came out with some information on professions. And hopefully you guys are taking a look at that and you got questions that are coming from that. But I'll start off. There's a question about the chemist being able to make buff enhancements and will those be limited? And one of the things that if there's a stat in the game that you can affect, the short answer is we probably will make some kind of enhancement for a chemist to be able to affect that. To what extent, we don't know. This could include things like damage. It could include health regens. It could include attack speed, things like that. So the enhancements will run the gamut for just about any stat, whether it be a primary or one of the residual stats that can be modifiable.
Yeah, and there was a question about that in the same vein there. Talked about salvaging the enhancements to players that are carried by players. So I'm assuming the chemist enhancements are what they're talking about.
Right.
And the reasoning was that they want to be able to salvage on the molecular level to recover the mat, because it's future people after all. Well, see, that's the exact problem, is because it is combined on the molecular level, you are unable to salvage it. So basically, basically, no, you can't salvage pots or things like that. So.
Another one was, in addition to the chemist, was decay, and we mentioned how equipment, armor, and things like that will decay via use, and pots or chemist enhancements will not go stale. So if you make it, they're good for infinity, or as long as you continue to play the game.
But a lot of them have time durations on them.
That's
so.
true. That's true.
So they decay once you use them, I suppose.
Right, right. But once, if you haven't used it, it'll stay in your inventory for as long as you have it.
So there was a question about inventors, and they want to know what makes an inventor interesting, aside from making harvesters and jetpacks. So inventors actually probably one of the ones I would be intrigued with playing myself. It's pretty cool. You can make, obviously, some of the high tech in the game. The shields are one of them that wasn't mentioned here. Jetpacks, harvesters, these are all the big ticket items that people are going to want in the game. So that's a draw. But also, inventors literally are the conduits for new tech into the game. So they're the ones that actually can, even though they may not be able to make it, they can invent and create other schematics for even the weaponsmiths and the armor smiths, and so they're kind of keeping the game on the cutting edge, the inventors.
Exactly. Let's see what other questions. There was a question about classes and healing while flying. There are some heals that you would not be able to do while flying, and that we'll take a look at it once we get into the large-scale combats that we talked about. But by and large, a lot of the heals, just like some of the attacks, will have a range. For damage, there's a modifier to hit that's pretty substantially negative if you're trying to attack while flying. But that's one of the things that we have queued up for healing, but we're still testing that.
Yeah. So we have, okay, so we have another question. Someone was asking about the profession, the biotech profession that makes colors where you can dye your armor.
Lots of colors.
So that's obviously a very important one for a lot of us gamers. We want to be able to look cool in the game. And this person wants to know, what colors can you craft up to level 200 in your profession? So as most of you may know, you can take every profession up to 200. So the max is, you can pick one profession up to 1,000, everything else up to 200. So I kind of see what you're doing. You're not wanting to make that your profession, but actually you want to keep it as your minor profession. So you want to know what colors you can make. Well, the colors for the armor, we've taken those. We really want those to be something that to make the armor look cool. So we actually kind of made it, even on the lower level, something you could do good. So go ahead and show us the screen there of what we can do for the. We actually got a screenshot.
So these are the colors you're looking at for up to 200.
So up to 200, you're pretty good there.
And hey, if this is your thing, then you're ready to rock and roll. On the same note, you can probably think of the same things along weapon crafting and armor crafting, what you can do up to 200. So you're really going to get the bang for your buck for going above that. But there's going to be some functionality and utility up to the 200 point.
Yeah, exactly. Scary thing is we actually picked those colors in game, man. Horrible.
We did. Well, it looks. I mean, some people called it, so either it was right what they were expecting.
Psychic.
So yeah, maybe we're on target.
Good. So how do siege weapons work, and is there any information on new siege vehicles? If so, what types are there, and what are their functions? Well, actually, kind of as we speak, the actual page for, we're going to have a new reveal on the website for bases. It'll be up live after this chat. And you'll find that the bases have a lot of definite functions. I know there's been a lot of talk about that in the past. So you'll be able to get in there. It has a quick overview of the base, what it does, talks a little bit about the requirements for it and how long it takes to call the bases down. But one of the bases that you've kind of noticed is the armory. And the Armory is the one that actually has the vehicles I think you guys are going to be interested in. The Armory is the one that actually calls the mechanized vehicles that you can inhabit and wreak havoc, basically, or defend your base with as well.
Yeah.
So they're going to be pretty cool, and those in and of themselves are going to be a whole nother reveal. We're going to show those. They're, without saying too much, we're seeing them right now in-house. They're awesome, and I cannot wait for you guys to check them out. So anyway, you'll get to see those quickly after chat. Check out the base page.
And Pedro, it's you may be on the right lines. You're just going to have to know if it's the car Voltron or if it's the cat Voltron. I'm partial to the cat Voltron. So.
Exactly. So let's go ahead there and. All right. So let me see if we have. Let me see this. If Drew's got the video. Do you have the second video queued up, Drew? Okay. Good. So he's got. Drew told me he has the second video queued up, and literally, we were making this video till right now. So. It'll be polished before we post it on the website today, and so you guys are seeing you guys being on this live chat with us. You're the first early adopters as usual, and so you're going to see the first video. It may change a little bit by the time we post it later today, but this is kind of an early preview of the video. Now, it doesn't have any of the intermediate screens or anything like that on it yet, so it's pretty much just the video cut. So first of all, preview it, and then let us know what you think, where we need to go with it, because like I said, it's not finished, and it's not the one that'll be on the website later today, but tell us what you think. Yeah, director's cut. That's exactly right.
Here we go. All right. So what'd you think? Hopefully you guys liked it.
Yeah, so that's just, all that was taken in-game. So pretty much we wanted to give a little bit of preview on this first video of seeing all three of the classes that we're doing. And the next one, obviously, will have more combat, like John said, but this is kind of a preview to the three classes and what they do. Yeah, and the Assailant are pretty bad dudes. You don't want to mess with one. You want to walk up on one, you might regret it.
And ultimately, you'll see as we get to more reveals, all the different classes, and we'll give you some flavor behind those. But we want to make certain that you want to play all these, that they're all pretty awesome.
Cool. Well, good. I appreciate we really appreciate all the input and things you guys say. So definitely get it back. Post on the forums. Get it back to Sonia. So both of these videos, the beta test and this one, will be posted later today as we get them done. They'll be on our YouTube page. And I don't know, I'd have to scroll down. I don't know if it's so much mass is on here. He usually scoops up the videos really quick, so you probably find out on his page too. But anyway, let me see, is he here today? No, unfortunately, yeah, no, he's not here. Good. So it'll just be on our page then. It's a Pitchblack exclusive without him here.
Yeah.
So good. So anyway, thanks a lot. We'll open it up now. We're about halfway through here. So as usual, this is your time to talk with us and see if there's anything you want to know more about. So we see a lot of new people there. I'm really excited to see a lot of new faces.
I did see a couple questions that I missed right as we were going to the video. So if you want to put those back up, we can talk to them. But it's definitely something that if we don't get to it here, as we normally do, and Sonia gives us every week, just post them on the message boards.
Yep. I do see a...
There it was. Vigorous asked about procs. like a player applying them to crafted stuff. And there will be abilities, if you will, or things that are not necessarily stats that you can put on items. They may not necessarily behave like a normal proc would, like a % chance, but it may be a specific thing like a heal or a damage, and it would be an active or basically a passive ability that's not something that you're going to turn on and off. So we do have them, but a lot of them will not be a percentage-based chance. It'll just be there or it won't be there.
So we got my old friend Vicariousness. You know, he just asked good questions. I don't know what to say. But he's asking if the game is in 24/7 beta right now. And yes, it is, Vicariousness. It was basically since last Friday, so almost a week now. And to kind of give you a little more than probably Sonia wants us to tell you about it, we're working out the main kinks are so far, and most of the beta testers can attest to this anyway, even though they won't because they're under NDA. Most of the kinks are with the patcher installer. So we do have fixes for a lot of the patcher installer stuff, and so we're going to fix a lot of that stuff. But as you saw in the beta video, a lot of people are very successful getting into the game, and we're playing it with them every day. So from here on out, it will be 24/7. The other thing is we probably will be taking it down on estimate about 1 day a week, just for maintenance and to make sure we get everything updated. So that's kind of the schedule we're going to stick to from now on.
Let's see, question about icons and icons on the website. Currently we're doing a lot of icons, and actually that's one of the things Ziad's working on currently. So expect the icons to change dramatically over the next few weeks to be more like what they'll actually be when the game comes out. So yeah, we do know that, we do realize that, and they are actually in process currently.
And Killam asked if we can have a look at character creation. And that is coming up, Killam. John and I were just talking about that today. That will be one of the videos, along with all the combat videos we're doing in the early week. We'll do a detailed one since you guys haven't seen it before in detail. You saw it early on, you know, so it's getting better.
Yep. Question about are the Salient worlds designed for the Salients to blend into them? Not necessarily. They're designed to give a unique flavor, so when you go to them, you feel like you're really going to another world, and allows us the ability for horizontal expansion in those worlds. So it's something that, as you see the different classes and you see the different forms, the Salient are unique unto themselves and don't really have any need or desire to try to blend in with the local flora and fauna. You'll see how we've set it up. But we do want each of their worlds to be unique, so that when you go to them, you'll feel like you're definitely on a different planet.
Yep. And RaidSoft asks, what are the plans for allowing more people into beta? If we have anything more to say about that. Well, you know, RaidSoft, John and I, we want to let you all into beta. We're always telling Sonia to let more people in, but she's like, no, I do not want to let any more people in. So until you guys can figure a way out to get past Sonia, I mean, we've been telling her we've been telling her all the time, please Sonia, please just let a few more people in. And she won't do it. So
yeah, it's been tough. It really has. I mean, I don't know.
I just don't know what to say.
So
you guys, but anyway.
There were a bunch of questions about Soldier for Hire, and that's a unique thing that we want to make so that it's different from the bounty hunting. So just to make certain that it's understood that Soldier for Hire and bounty hunting are different. And there's several mechanisms to go through, advance, get rewarded for, and play the Soldier for Hire, which once you see the mechanics and how we've laid it out, it'll make a lot more sense. There are things that do tend to be PvE centric, but there's definitely things that would benefit from being that in a PvE spectrum as well. So they are separate. Just make certain that you kind of understand that they're not, in essence, a synonym for the same thing.
Yep. And I didn't get to answer that last question, but yes, we're going to talk to Sonia about it and figure it out, but we do want more people in. The one issue that we talked about, the patch installer, obviously that has to be 100%.
Right.
We don't want to hear anyone else having problems with it patching or installing correctly, you know, half people. And we want to make sure you all can get in smoothly and have a great time playing on more videos like this with us. So that's very close by next week, and then we really want to let a lot more people in. So we'll talk to Sonia shortly. So anyway.
Couple questions. Turk Alerts asked about housing. To the extent that we'll say it's designed, and that's about it for this point, but it most likely will not be in there at launch.
Okay.
Question about will your game focus heavily, I believe, on gear grinding, similar to what WoW has. The way that it's set up with the professions, and anyone that's played a profession heavy game will understand that the idea is the gameplay is what you're there for, and the profession and the gear that you get from that is brought by the community, as opposed to just going out and aiming for XYZ piece of gear. The idea is that you're going out, helping the community and gaining things through your professions, which in essence at the end will give you the best gear, and you don't have to be on 24/7 grinding away to get the best gear.
So the okay.
Let's see here. Questions about CC. Some games are long, some games are short. It's something that we look at. We understand that to a certain extent, CC really, if you're the one being crowd controlled, is not a fun experience, but it does have a factor in the gameplay, especially when you have large groups, to manage and understand who you're going to attack, how you're going to coordinate these things. So CC is in there. We also have a pretty cool system for being able to break the CC, and we are working on diminishing returns and things like that. So it's in there. We're trying to find the happy medium on what's a good amount of time, what's frustrating. So it's being worked on, but it is something we're cognizant of.
And Bisette was asking, will you be able to fight in a lot of cities on Earth or just a few? Currently, Bisette, you can fight in London, New York, and China. So China's not really a city, I know, but it's a region. But anyway, those are the areas on Earth, and obviously we can always add more areas to Earth, but these areas are really big, large, huge cities, escape areas. So, yeah. Yeah, China is the sweetest cities, Arian.
Yeah. Question, another CC follow-up as far as the types of CE. So, in essence, you'll have an AOE CC that basically is not a targeted. You'll have a targeted AOE CC, and you also have a direct target, single target CC.
Okay, and once again, Vicariousness asks, what's the verdict on 6 or 8 man groups? Well, we're sticking to our 6-man groups, you know. So far, Vicariousness and testing, the testers just tend to love the 6-man groups, you know. They even say, I don't know why we ever wanted 8-man groups.
It's totally, like it's almost to the point to where, do we even need 6-man?
Exactly. Exactly. No, but that is still up to debate. It's not locked in. Just so far in testing, that's what we're doing. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, I mean, good.
Let's see.
Anyway, all right, so let me see. You know, we're just playing with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Okay.
Let's see.
Good.
Yeah, it looks like, let's see here. There's a question about as far as variance and skill points being able to group with one player versus another, i.e. Is it 10% variance, is it 15% variance? Right now we're looking at that. Right now it's between about 15 to 20%, but it is a variable curve. So at the lower levels we understand that there's a lot more variance, there's a lot less skill points. At the higher levels there's a lot less variance. So that kind of gives you an idea on what we're targeting right now, but that may change as we get more and more people in and see how effective you can be at the different levels of combat and healing and things like that.
And Benny Wiggs says, will guilds need to be leveled? And what does that mean for smaller guilds? Well, Benny, they do not need to be leveled. So every guild is on equal ground. As a matter of fact, as the testers cannot attest to, I guess, since they're under NDA, anyone can make a guild. We made it very easy, to make a guild. So you can start your own guild and get players in there with you. And one of the cool things about it is for smaller guilds is you can join alliances with other guilds. So we should have had Luke on today. He's actually working on that now, getting the alliances up and running. But we've been testing the guilds, and it's pretty fun.
Yep, works great with all the positioning, who's online. You can tell all the information about them, so it's pretty slick.
Yep.
Questions about gender and different factions. So the Salient and the humans have variable genders, male, female, and the Rodons are genderless. So.
Yeah. And Beset asks, how many guilds will fill an alliance? Do we know the number yet?
8, I believe.
Is it 8?
Yeah.
I think it's 8. Don't hold me to that, Beset. Those of you who are transcribing right now, yeah, we can.
But yeah, I believe Luke was targeting 8. That's something that when we look at the guild sizes and members, and that's ultimately the criteria, is we have to allow for the large variations in guild sizes and then add those into the alliance data structure. So that's one of the main limiting factors. So as we take a look at that, we may find a balance to where some of the smaller guilds, maybe it's something at a certain number of members, we could improve that number, make it a little bit bigger for a smaller, tighter knit group of people.
Exactly. And Max Payne asks, fighting other guilds, will this be possible? Right now, within your own faction, it is not. Fighting other guilds, obviously, in alliances, other factions, that's what we want for the game. So yeah, it will be possible, but not probably the way you're thinking.
Yep. Question about like a mentor system, and one of the things that we definitely want is for you to be playing with your friends and also develop new friends and play with them in the game. So we have looked at things like a mentor system in addition to an advisor system and things like that, so that you can get a lot of the pertinent, critical information that you want fast from the people that know it the best, the players.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And Bossel JV asked about when grouped, will it be easy to see who we are grouped with? Other games have just a shade of color, blue for example, if you're in a Zerg. So we're toying around with that right now. We don't want it to be too obnoxious. We have shading on the characters. Most of you might have noticed in some of the videos or in testing, you can click, whoever you have targeted actually has a rim shader, so to speak, around their person. So different colors of that may be something we use. And right now, though, we don't have that. So we're toying around with that. It's not going unnoticed. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. And Bissett had a question about a trophy system. And one of the things that we have designed into the housing, and that's one of the, if you played a game with housing, one of the cool things is the ability to get trophies. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have all different types of trophies that you can put in your housing when that gets implemented.
Yep. But after bounty hunters will have to collect an item as well, so that'll be a whole other type of trophy, I guess.
Let's see here.
Okay.
If Vicarious is talking to the same thing that you were talking to a minute ago about the guilds challenging other guilds, that depending on how it works, I know a lot of times in the old days where they used IGN or something like that, you did have almost forum challenges and things like that, or at least saying, hey, we're going to be out here, try to take us down type of thing. So we'll look at that and see if that's something that's important and it helps out with the flavor of the game, and you guys get excited about it, then we definitely want to look at that. But by and large, currently we don't have any plans to put that in there.
Mm-hmm. And Dell7G asked about at launch, will the kills and stats be tracked? And yes, they are. All that stuff is tracked on the server. It's just a matter of how we want to distribute it. So we're trying to figure that out. We know that you'll be able to pull it up in game, but in talking with Sonia, she obviously wants it all on the website. So how far we can take it, that's what we're experimenting with right now, Dale. Ultimately, we want it to be able to be pulled on the website as well with your character when you log in and stuff. So
yeah. And Chopamus asked about the bounty hunting and finding their target. There'll be a tracking system that'll be set up, so you'll be able to have an idea where your target is at.
Okay. Huh, I didn't read that. Huh. Okay.
Question about the vehicles. The only type of vehicle that you'll keep on you is your jetpack currently.
There are other temporary ones that you'll use in certain circumstances. Okay.
Bissett had a question about stopping a faction from being overpopulated, and that's kind of a hard thing. Ultimately, at the end of the day, people are going to either align with a group of friends, or some people like being the underdog. I think we've talked to this a few times. We had different measures to be able to see where the populations are going, and maybe give some kind of incentive to the underdog. At the end of the day, hopefully the three factions give a little bit more evening out of that. But we do have some measures to take a look at that and be able to offer some things so that it would be a bit more balanced.
Exactly. So Larva Lounge asked, do crafting recipes call for exact ingredients, or will we have some choices of ingredients to use? They call for exact ingredients. Mm-hmm. So once you know a schematic, you have to actually craft it. You have to follow that schematic to craft it. But I will tell you, the variance for Larva is actually in the quality of the material that you put in. Just because a schematic calls for a certain amount of a material, you have the wherewithal. You can change it to whatever quality you want, and that will affect the outcome of the item that you craft. And so that's the thing. And also the other thing we pointed out is you can experiment. So if you don't have a schematic, you can actually experiment with lots of different ingredients to come up with other things. So that's the way that works.
Yep. And one of the things, I see some questions, and thank you guys for answering questions for the new people to bring them up. But if you do have questions that we don't pose or answer here, there's been some great write-ups on the website, and actually some fan sites that go over a lot of the different things that we've covered that are done real well. So definitely take a look at those, because those are something that will give you a lot of information so you can kind of get up to speed. Totally. Okay. Vicarious had a question about the animation.
Okay. It's a lot better, Vicariousness, as most of the testers can attest to. But we are still sorting out a few things. The melee works now, the other ones work. Now it's a matter of making them, just refining them, making them look good, and adding a lot of variance to the animations. So it's a lot better than it was. We've got a system now, and we're following it, so it's looking a lot better. Right. And as you guys saw, you guys, I'm sure, can download and dissect the videos after this, but you can see that they're not final, but you can see that they are working now, and it's a very good, for where we're at, they're very good.
Right. There's a question Mirage had about the harvesters doing anything but dropping collecting harvesters. They can use more of the better harvesters, they can salvage, and they can also refine, and they can refine the higher level stuff. So basically when you're taking a lower grade base material to a higher grade, they can do that and keep more of the original item. Their burn rate or their churn is not as great as somebody that would be a lower level trying to do it.
Yeah, see, there's something that we haven't ever talked about, I don't think, is that in refining, you know, there are, you can take a lower grade material to a higher grade, and so the harvesters actually have a better ratio of what they get in return for doing that. So that's one of the things.
Let's see,
I bet you did, Unfragged.
let's see here.
Okay. Oh boy. The plans to add symbols of some sort to items to denote different rarities. As of right now, we don't have that implemented. We're thinking of kind of a plus-minus system, but you can't hold that to us yet. But we are thinking about some kind of a system to do that. So we'll play around with that in testing and see how that goes, JBiz.
Moostorm had a question about you use a harvester, your faction loses control. I'm assuming you're inferring the mines, which are really the only thing to where you wouldn't be able to get back to the harvester. Currently the mines persist, so it would persist. We'll take a look at that depending on if we just have lots of harvesters that are going unclaimed. I'm sure there'll be a point at which it's either just going to get full or time out. but currently it will persist.
Yeah, it just stays there, Whoopstorm. Just because you can't get back in doesn't mean it doesn't stay there. So it just stays there harvesting, and so it's more incentive, I guess, for you to get back in and grab it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about harvesters. They're not very smart. They just kind of like stay wherever you leave them.
Yeah.
You know, you have to go back and find them.
Aquanom, we're taking a look at that. So that's something that we can, because one of the things is that depending on what you see, the platinum could end up looking like gray, which normally is denoted as a lower end. So we'll take a look at that. We didn't necessarily just want to use colors everybody's using, but that's something that we'll look at.
But platinum's the most expensive metal,
True.
Aquanom.
True.
All right, so yeah, maybe we'll do that.
As far as there's lots of questions about PvP, and hopefully for the guys in the beta, they'll probably be the first to know, and that's really what we're excited about, looking at the different group dynamics, which of the classes end up being initially superior, which ones are inferior, helping us balance that, and especially in the group situations. We've designed it that we want you to be able to have multiples of the same class. You don't necessarily have to have one class to be able to compete. So we'll look at that a lot more as we get into this large group testing, because that'll really give us an idea of where we're going at that point.
Hey, there's quite a few people on, so we'll open this next question open to everyone. Bissett asked an interesting question that gets debated quite a bit. Will mini-maps show battles on it, or will we just have to look for fights? Right now you have to look for fights, but John and I kind of go back and forth whether they should show up on the mini-map. So since we have a lot of good testers and people on, what do you guys think? Should we show the battles on the mini-map or not? Or does it matter to you? See, I kind of feel like you do, Ruck. Yep.
So we'll maybe if someone can kind of get into that a little bit more on the forums. It looks like there's yeses and nos. One of the things that I liked about it is if you're just logging in and you go out and you're looking for, maybe your group isn't on, where can you go to get involved rather than run around for 20 minutes? So maybe we have some idea in a general area, but not the specific exact location. But we wanted to know, or my point was, if you're logging on, you don't just want to run around and find nothing. You want to go where the action is. So without being too specific, how do we help you out with that? Or is it something we should even worry about?
But see, my point is that if there's bases and things that you know that are hot spots already in and of themselves, why don't you just wander over there, and that's probably going to be a battle. And if it isn't, guess what? You get a base.
This coming from the impatient guy that always plays the rogue, that wants to get up to the highest level the fastest.
Yep.
So, all right, sure. We'll see.
Yep. Good.
Let's see here.
Ooh, Sonya, man. Playing hardball with Shu. That's cold, Sonya. That's cold.
Rough.
Oh, man.
Let's see here. You'll see Dale had a question about choke points. That's one of the things that I think is to Warren's point, that largely in the area you're going to find the channels, and we've designed it hopefully so one faction doesn't necessarily have an advantage, but there are certain areas that would probably lead to more occurrences of battles. So we may not necessarily need it because of that.
Okay, so we're just wrapping up here. Last minute questions, and remember everyone, probably right after this broadcast, shortly thereafter, we'll push it live about the bases. Go check out the bases on the website,
yep,
and let us know in the forums what you think of them, for sure. And we're really happy to see all the new people today that stopped by and joined us. And we'll do our best to keep on building this up and having more people here with us all, and we'll talk to Sonya really soon about getting more beta testers in as well.
Yep.
So I'm sure that some of you will be pulled for that.
Yeah, but again, just a reminder, Sonya holds the keys, so I mean, it's really up to Sonya. We'd let you all in if we could.
Yep, yep. Benny Wiggs asked if we have families and if they mind that we work long hours to make a video game. Should we even answer that one?
I would say yes squared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Well, keep the forums active. Let us know what you want to know about. We'll be back in a couple weeks, bringing some more stuff, some more updates. If there's anything specific that you're looking for, try to be specific so that we can get you the information and be less vague about it. So, appreciate you coming down. Anything else?
Nope. So we'll look for the videos on YouTube and check out the site. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right.
Thanks.